GamerFeed Radio.
This is GamerFeed Radio. Hello, everybody. I'll be your host this evening. My name is Nick Delicave. I've done several of these shows, and we're happy to have you back. Today's show is just me going solo. It's a little different because we're kind of trying to bring back a little bit of that DLC action you may have saw or seen, I guess if I use right grammar, on YouTube a while back. Basically, we took little snippets of things that were going on and kind of just did a general group reaction. So in this case, I'm going to react, interestingly, to some of the current Nintendo E3 predictions. There's a bunch of predictions out there. It's the season for craziness. And everybody's talking about all the crazy things they think is going to happen. And you know what? Half of them are dead wrong. In fact, everybody's wrong because we really don't know what's going on until it happens. But that said, let's drill into this. I will not name names during the show today because, I'd like to protect the ignorant. I'll put it that way. So innocent victim number one out here says, hey, guess what? Nintendo's going to launch some kind of new IP. Really? Apparently that's the best they got. I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that we're going to see something new out of Nintendo, and I think what's really pretty interesting about the suggestion, we've seen that robot punchy thing that Miyamoto was working on, the rumor about Star Fox coming back, which isn't new IP per se, but it is something that's been missing for a long, long time. I think that's pretty possible. That we'll see more about the robot Rock'em Sock'em game. Hopefully, even with a little bit of playable demo. I'm hoping to see something with the Nintendo Treehouse live stream. That would be really pretty fantastic. So that's one prediction. I think it's probably, I'm going to say a thumbs up. I think it's pretty possible. I think we'll see something interesting and get more details on the stuff that we've heard so far. Another prediction is, hey, we're going to hear about more Amiibo. No kidding. Several future releases and waves have already been announced. The Splatoon stuff's getting ready to come out here in a little bit. Yoshi's Woolly World's got some other stuff coming. I mean, conceivably, there could be, a zillion different iterations out there. I think one of the things, and I've talked about this on previous shows, the guys make fun of me, is, Pokemon is a gold mine. I don't know why they haven't started it yet with all the legendary Pokemon and super mega ridiculous evolutions and all the different... Hell, you could have morphing Amiibo. I don't know. More like playable action figure than NFC chip. But I'm just saying. So maybe there's something in there. We'll obviously see some information about Amiibo. We'll see. We're obviously... plenty of sites out there are also saying, hey, we're going to get more information about the mobile games. I would be shocked if we didn't get some kind of teaser or indicator of a game that's coming other than just a regular general announcement. They keep saying it's going to come out this fall. I see no reason why we can't see a trailer of some of that material. If it's even trailer worthy, just something, a teaser that kind of gives us a feel for where they're kind of going with it with the DNA partnership. Well, this one's a little dicey. I don't know how I feel about this one. Innocent victim number 2 says, hey, there's going to be a new Metroid game for 3DS. That's really interesting. There's a lot of attention being paid right now to Fire Emblem If, where you can do the two sides, and I think that's taking up an awful lot of development time. I think it's probably more likely that rather than a new game, we'll either see a port of a pre-existing game, similar to what they did with Xenogears 3DS. I think, Xenoblade Chronicles. I think we're probably more likely to see something in that vein because there's less development time, and, it would be something unexpected, but yet something that people are familiar with, which I think is a good stopgap anytime you're in a season or a year, in this case for Nintendo, where, the end of the year is looking pretty thin. And you need to get something in the hands of people that they're familiar with. I think Metroid's a good candidate for that. Whether it's a new game, I'm kind of thinking shaky hand at best on that. Remake, I think, is more a thumbs-up possibility. One of the other things that's out here, it's floating, believe it or not, is the, and I actually agree with this, I'm pretty stoked, I hope it's true, is the Zelda U will make some kind of appearance. Now, that's a pretty broad statement. I'm not saying it's going to be like, here's a new trailer. I think it could be a possible sit-down type overview with an update. Some kind of update I think is going to happen, even if it's behind closed doors, because it's just too big of a game to not show something about it. I don't expect any significant material, but something. I mean, it's the pink elephant in the room. It just has to be talked about. Innocent Victim number 3 talks a little bit about that and mentions something about a Wii U price drop announcement. Ooh. Nintendo's been pretty sticky this generation on price, which is not how they have handled generations in the past. You look at a system like GameCube, which really is on par to be as successful, or the Wii U is rather on par to be about as successful as that particular generation. And I think we're probably looking at, the pendulum completely swinging the other way. This is the longest I think Nintendo's held on to a price point for any console, whether it's 3DS or not. And, if they're going to do a price drop, obviously this would be the time to do it. The game lineup for the end of the year is really, really thin. I think it's a good business decision to just go ahead and say, hey, we're going to take $50 or throw in a free game, quote, free game, do like a Splatoon bundle or a Smash Brothers system bundle or something like that to justify keeping it at the same price. But something like that to help move units, I think, is definitely something they should consider. And I think that actually is a pretty good chance of happening. So I kind of agree with Innocent Victim number 3. As for Innocent Victim number 4, they're talking about predicting that Animal Crossing will head to the Wii U. I'm not sure how I feel about that, particularly because the group talked about this on, I think it was either it wasn't the last podcast, maybe it was 2 podcasts ago. For the last news feed, we were talking about whether or not, what games seem to fit on console versus those that fit better on handheld. And Animal Crossing was one of the games that Rob indicated, was something that really sort of sits well in the portable realm. So, I think it would be really cool to see Animal Crossing cross streams, no pun intended. But I think that would be huge if they did it. I'm not as confident as this particular Innocent Victim website, but I think it's possible. You may or may not have heard or seen Innocent Victim number 5 predicts that more DLC characters will be revealed. In fact, on June the 14th, apparently there's going to be some kind of mini direct right before the big Nintendo Direct and the kickoff of E3. So, I think there's probably something to this. I think it's a little unexpected for some folks to be so soon. I, for one, am super stoked about Lucas. That's my boy. Lucas is my boy. And you're my boy, Blue. And I cannot wait to get my hands on him and start literally pwning everybody in every tournament in the universe. The boy's my main. He's my main. Anyway, as far as adding more DLC characters, I totally think it's for real and possible, and I say giddy up. Now, this is interesting. There is several different groups of folks, I guess I should say there are several websites out here, all saying that they think that there'll be some kind of Punch-Out game that's going to make it for this year. Now, that's really interesting to me. I was never really like a big Punch-Out fan, but Little Mac coming into Smash this go around I thought was really good. It's an interesting one. The fact that it's popping up on several different extremely credible sites that are out there. I think that prediction may have some legs just because everybody's talking about it. It's a little strange to see something like that, that seems pretty random to me at least, pop up in so many different places. So I think that's really interesting. And we'll wrap it up here with this last prediction that they think there'll be some more, Mario Kart DLC. Listen, I think that actually is a really, really good possibility. They just keep, milking the cash cow. Mario Kart, as you all may or may not be aware, is a great entry title into the system. And it's an extremely popular game. So if you can't sell more units, then why not make the people who love the game buy more stuff? Pretty much common sense to me. So I think that probably has a pretty reliable chance of happening. In fact, I think for Nintendo, anything DLC on any of their pre-existing titles is pretty much a sure bet. Just because, again, the end of this year is so thin on content. I honestly don't know how they're going to do this holiday season in the absence of a critically acclaimed AAA title. And you guys all know I am not a fan of the Yoshi's Woolly World as the premium experience. I think that's weak at best, and not exactly thrilled about it. So those are some predictions that are going on for Nintendo at E3. The question is, what predictions do you have? So when we post the show, put some comments out there on Facebook and let us know what you think. We're going to be doing some additional DLC with PlayStation and, of course, Xbox. We mentioned there's a lot of publishers out there like Square Enix and a bunch of other guys that are going to do some shows. That's great, but we're not doing predictions on those. We'll have a full recap of the E3 with the GamerFeed radio team post E3, breaking it down so that we can talk about all the craziness that actually happens at the event. So in the meantime, look forward to some additional DLC episodes of GamerFeed Radio while the team braces for impact for E3, and we'll take it from there. As always, guys, you can check us on Facebook and Twitter at GamerFeed Radio, and on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and all the things. Until next time, gamers, peace.